Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, where we talk all things manga. I'm excited to share with you my manga haul for the month of June of over 40 volumes. And the goal of these type of videos is to share with you not only what I picked up, but why did I pick that up? And if I read the volume, what are some of my thoughts? But before we begin, something I usually put at the end of the video, I'd like to put in the front for this one. And that's if this channel if you found any value through this channel, would you go ahead and would you subscribe to the channel? See, according to Google Analytics, I only have about 27% of everyone who is going to watch this manga haul is actually a subscriber. And it would just mean the world to me if you could go ahead and click that subscribe button. As you know, it is viewers like you that makes this channel happen. Every single time you hit subscribe, that just opens a door for more people to learn about the channel, as well as it also provides, as you see, some of these volumes here are actually given to me from publishers. I can go ahead and share my thoughts, and I'd love to be able to start giving away some of these volumes as well. So if I have given you any value whatsoever, would you go ahead and subscribe to the channel? This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treats and Sakurako. Let's go ahead and open this month's snack box together from Tokyo Treat. They want to invite everyone to experience Japan from the comfort of your own home through these delicious snack boxes. Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack box where you can get up to 20 exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks, including Japanese instant ramen and drinks. They're only available in Japan for a limited time. One thing I was really excited about this month was these cookies and cream Kit Kats. Where else can you get this? And I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't really like cookies and cream, but I was shocked when I ate one of these how good this is. This has made me a convert. If cookies and cream taste like this all the time, I would be all about this. Tokyo Treats theme, Okinawa snacking away. Speaking of cookies and cream, something else that seemed a bit of a cookie but as a ball was these salty, crunchy bites. So good. This month's Tokyo Treat invites you to get a taste of island life and adventure to one of Japan's most popular getaway destinations, Okinawa. This month's box is fully packed with tropical flavors and Okinawa favorites you don't want to miss. I also was pleasantly surprised by this tasty treat from Okinawa. These are just so delicious. Let's go ahead and open this month's box of Sakurako together. Sakurako is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware. Now, another confession just between you and I is that I'm not really a big jelly person, but I actually really love this type of jelly peach that they have. These are just so good, and you're only gonna find something like this from Japan. Sakurako theme, Festival of Tohoku, known for its lively and colorful festivals, offering a captivating display of culture and tradition. This month, Sakurako invites you to indulge in authentic and savory flavors that capture the essence of enchanting region's celebrations, bringing a piece of Tohoku festive charm to your home. I also was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this custard bread from Japan. These boxes have just been so much fun for my family. It is our dream to someday go as a family to Japan. But until that time, I'm so grateful that we could taste just a little bit of Japan together. It's so fun seeing the kids want to scourge through the box, tasting the different things, talking about what we liked, what was different, and it's just been a unique experience as literally we've tasted things here I never even thought existed and just so unique from where you see from someplace like in America. So this has been phenomenal, and if you're interested in checking this out for yourself or for your family, if you use my promo code GEEKS, you can actually get $5 off your first box set. So go ahead and check them out. So with that said, let's go ahead and start off with ongoing or missing titles that I received from Viz Media. And the first thing we picked up is, lo and behold, a Siren Volume 1. I was shocked. I ordered this whole series a long time ago from Right Stuff Anime, and I got a little charge on my card for Right Stuff Anime, even though they're now from Crunchyroll. And my guess is it was just an older volume 1 that was just sitting in the warehouse somewhere that I found it, and somehow I got picked up to go ahead and send this. There is not a new reprint for this series. This is a series I have I think half of the series now. I have 8 out of 16 volumes, so I don't know when Viz Media is going to reprint it. This is one I've just heard so many good things, so I'm very happy to have a volume 1 now. Hopefully, I mean, it's like in between. I can't even start the series. I don't have volume 2, 3, or 4, but I have some other mixture of them, so who knows what's gonna happen, but that for you is Siren. Next I picked up is Mission Yakuza Family Volume 11, and this is incredible. This is a series that was okay at first, but it's just gone up, and up, and man, the action is so packed. I am so glad I started this series. Now with the anime out, I know this is gonna be even more popular, but the blooming indie, I mean, just look at this cover alone. It's just so epic. If you're looking for a Spy X Family sort of thing, not as heavy on the comedy aspect, but just there's more of a wholesome family with some action and just some interesting little big reveals slowly happening, this is one you're going to want to check out. This has been a great Shonen Jump series. Next up is one of my favorite series that I've done a review on that's now over, and we're slowly getting the rest of the volumes in America, and that is Call of the Night. This was another phenomenal volume. I just fell in love deeply with the series. I'm sad that it's over, and I think this is volume 16. I think we have 20 volumes total, so it'll be a little bit, but this is a vampire series, and you're really asking the question for the series is, what is love? What is the purpose of finding love? What if they like you, but you don't like them? So it took a twist when it became not a slice of life, but there's some action here and there, but really asking some deeper questions. So in the midst of everything here, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I have a review if you want to know more of my thoughts on the series, but so good. Up next is another series. If you like Harry Potter and if you like One Punch Man, well, they had a baby a while ago, and that is Mashal, and this is volume 16. Now, I believe there's 17 or 18 volumes total for this series, so I'm just waiting until we finish the end since we're so close, and the series is already finished in Japan. So once we get those final volumes, I'm just going to read the whole thing straight and go ahead and give you a review. And next is one of my favorite manga of all time. This is actually the series that got me into manga to begin with. This was in my original top 10, and that is My Hero Academia Volume 38. Now the series has 5 more volumes, or sorry, 5 more chapters, and then it's gonna be all over. But so it's been very bittersweet, just the nostalgia for me of knowing that this is my first series that got me into manga collecting. And during the pandemic, I started watching anime again. I started watching My Hero Academia. I just had such a good time. I was like, I got to know what happens next. And I started collecting the manga. So it's all of this is because of My Hero Academia. So I'm still enjoying the journey. I'm not caught up with online, so I'm only caught up through here. So thank you for no spoilers, but it has been a wonderful ride. Up next is one of my favorite ongoing series that's currently right now, and that is Sakamoto Days Volume 12. We just finished this major arc from the school, and now we're moving on to this next section. It has been so good. If you're looking for a good assassin series, this had a good cliffhanger at the end where I feel like the next volume is like that big reveal volume. You know, that time in the story we get to see in the past, you find out why things are the way that they are. But if you're looking for a funny series, an action series that just has a lot of comedy, this Assassin series has just been phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Up next is a series that is now on hiatus for a bit, but I've continued to collect it, and is one I originally got for my daughters, and that is Snow White with the Red Hair. This is volume 26. Now, I've just heard so many good things about this, and that's why I got it for my daughters, but I'll be honest, for some reason, both my daughters got kind of bored with this series, and they said it was okay. So I know that's probably blasphemy for so many people, but for my daughters, because I already had this pre-order, I'm going to go and read it and see if I can try to convince them to go back to it again, as I heard this is a better series for a younger audience, since I have a daughter that's 8 and a daughter that's going to be 13 soon. I thought this is one they'd fall in love with, and I was surprised this is one that they just thought was okay. Next up are 2 volumes that I was waiting for. There's actually 2-in-1s. This I pre-ordered well over, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago from Right Stuff Anime, and the last 2 volumes were finally reprinted. So I'm very grateful for Viz Media for doing this. But here is round 1/2. This is 31-32. And this is 37-38. And the series is now complete, as I have the entire series. Whew! It was a long time. Now, they just announced they're remaking the anime for this, so maybe that's why we finally got these reprinted, but I'm very happy because now I can go ahead and I can read this series, which has been very, very popular, from the same person that gave Inuyasha, Mal currently going. So many wonderful series, and I know for many people this is one of their favorite manga artists and authors of all time. So I'm blown away. I'm just grateful to know that I now have the series complete and we can go ahead and start reading. Up next is the last of the 2 volumes for this delightful side story, kind of a prequel, and that is Ace's story from One Piece. So I was very grateful for Viz. They had the novel and then they went and go ahead and gave us a manga form for it. Me being dyslexic myself, I really was intrigued to know more about the story, but I did not want to try to go through the novel, so I'm very grateful we got the manga for this. This was a great 2 volumes. If you are a fan of One Piece, I highly recommend. This is a story you're going to want to get, and just the artwork on it, it's Boshi's artwork. So the same person that gave it the artwork for Dr. Stone, this is the same artwork. It is just phenomenal. It's one you're gonna enjoy. If you like One Piece, this probably already should be on your shelf. Up next is Akane Banashi Volume 6. I'm so blown away and grateful how fast Viz Media is giving us this series. This has been so good. This is about something called Rakugo, which probably not pronouncing it correctly, but the idea of being a single storyteller, almost kind of like a comedy club where you have someone standing doing comedy, but instead this is just they're a storyteller. So I've just been thoroughly invested. Never did I think I would love this so much. My older daughter is going to be 13. She loves the series as well. This has been very interesting. If you're looking for something different, I think the anime will blow up the series even more. If you're looking for something that's more of a cozy series, one where they're kind of battling it out through words and storytelling, and if you're just a person who wants to know more about what some of these Japanese folklore and stories are about, this is phenomenal. I have a great appreciation. Our dream someday when we go to Japan, I'd love to hear one of these live and just get that experience. So very good. This is a series you do not want to miss. Next up is another series that it seems like every volume I read just is too fast, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so long until I read another volume of it. But that is Kaiju number 8. The anime is now out. This is just, watch the first episode of the anime and I think you'll know whether or not you're hooked. If you like to see just the battle of kaijus, it's a great battle manga. It has some sprinkles in there, some comedy, and just some great camaraderie with each of the characters. This has been so good. My only complaint is just sometimes I read these really fast, but the battles going on are very interesting and intense, and to think that we're only on volume 10 and it feels like we hit like this major climax in the series, and to know that there'll probably be a climax that goes on top of that is just something else, and a lone defeat. They've done such a great job with this series, so that is Kaiju number 8. Now my favorite cozy series of all time. This volume I was supposed to get a long time ago, but unfortunately due to some issues with a certain company, they sent me the wrong manga volume not once, but twice. Luckily, they said I could keep those other 2 volumes, but third time was a charm, and I finally got Komi Can't Communicate Volume 29. This is one of my favorite snuggle up with a blanket, laugh out loud series. Even though you're like, wow, really? We're close to 30 volumes of Komi? Yes, we are. I think we're up to almost 34 in Japan, and it is still going strong. I absolutely love this series, and I cannot wait to find out how Komi handles her social disorder through this series as she continues to go on. And there's such great character growth. If you're looking for a series to see the characters actually change over time, they've done such a great job in development with this. And, you know, not much of a shocker, but, you know, Komi actually can communicate a little bit now, where in the beginning she couldn't communicate at all. You see her confidence grow. You see Tanero, his confidence grow, and it's just been such a wonderful and hilarious cozy story. Up next is one of my daughter's favorite series where she binged through the whole thing within less than a week, and that is Queen's Quality. This is volume 19. She jumped for joy as soon as she saw this. I gotta say hats off to Colleen a while ago. This is, gosh, maybe 2 years ago now. I emailed her and said, hey, what are some, manga that you recommend for a younger audience? And Snow White the Red Hair was one she recommended. She also recommended Queen's Quality, and now this is one of my daughter's just favorite series. Once we got that QQ Sweeper Volume 1, she grabbed the series right away. We're in the summertime. This is such a great read. So if you're looking for a good summer series, a good shoujo, this is one you're going to want to check out. Next up I picked up was Radiant Volume 17. Have I read the series yet? No. But I got the entire series on an extremely good deal for less than $5 a volume, volumes 1 through 16. I just felt wrong not having the 17. I got this from Manga, where I just need a little bit more for that free shipping. So I said, you know, let's go ahead and just add it now while it's a little easier instead of, you know, waiting. I should get to the series hopefully soon, but now I can technically say we're complete and caught up with the series. I just need to go ahead and start. They say if you like One Piece, you will like this series as well. Speaking of series that we've been waiting to be reprinted, this is another series that this is now the second printing. If you are even slightly interested in this series or on the fence, I would recommend just going and ordering it now, because who knows when a third time is going to happen, as some of these volumes in between prints was over a decade. That is none other than real. The series is now complete for me, as I now have the rest of the volumes that I was absolutely missing for this series. I am beyond excited. I am shocked that Viz was willing to reprint the series, so I'm very, very grateful. This is from the same author that gave us Slam Dunk, as well as gave us Vagabond. So if you're looking for a different basketball series, the camaraderie together, this is a wheelchair basketball, so it may not have been regular on your radar. It's flown on a lot of people's radars before, but they say it's just so incredible. It's a series that I've been waiting so long to be reprinted. I'm so glad it did, and actually there's now new chapters coming out. So it's one if you're even on the fence, I would go ahead and just purchase it right away. Worst case scenario, if it's not for you, I believe this is a series that is absolutely going to go ahead and hold its value. Next up from Viz Media, I got a Summaries After School Volume 6. This was a major volume. This is one of those ones at the end you're like, oh my, things you've been finally waiting to happen with these two characters finally happen. This volume is a beautiful slice of life series as you're following these two characters here who struggle with insomnia, where they just cannot sleep at night, and slowly over time you find out more reasons on what's going on and what's happened to their insomnia, and it's just neat to seeing them just come together. You're learning a little bit, seeing them grow just with the astrology club, with photography. So it's just been a fun series, very wholesome slice of life. There's 14 volumes total. It's done in Japan. This is just volume 6, so we have probably a year, will probably be about 2 years is my guess by the time we're caught up. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this slice of life so far. And last from Viz Media we picked up is Fist of the North Star Volume 13. I'm actually going to be pausing this series. You're like, Scott, what do you mean you're pausing it? Well, it's a series I have not picked up and started reading because of Viz Media price increase. I don't know why I'm continuing to pick up these volumes. I think there's 17 total in the series, even though there's 13. I think it's pretty close, but I'm gonna have to wait until there's a better sale or something, or I just need to start reading the series. Just no excuse. I know Fist of the North Star has influenced so much other manga. I know it was extremely rare. This is one series that people have been asking for a very long time to have a full English release. So I'm very grateful that Viz Media is doing that, and I wanted to support it up to this point. But as you saw from my video about manga hoarding, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It did fairly well. As I've been processing, I just have so much in my backlog. It would not be right for me to go ahead and continue. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pause on this till I can start reading some of the other volumes. And if I enjoy the series, I'll go ahead and I'll collect the rest, and hopefully someday I'll tell you more of my thoughts. Let's go ahead and now move on to ongoing or missing series that I received from Yen Press. And the first is the last volume in the side story of Bongo Stray Dogs' Dead Apple. Now, if you're a fan of Bongo Stray Dogs, I think it's no question this is one you're going to want to get as well. In fact, I've seen reviews where the rating on Dead Apple is even better than the whole story of Bongo Stray Dogs. Now, Bongo Stray Dogs having, I think, 26 volumes. I mean, there's some competition where yes, but for 4 volumes, to have 4 volumes that are, you know, good enough to have a better rating, I think that says a lot for its own. So I need to start reading this. I have no excuse. I apologize for that, but because I saw how much the good ratings were, I saw it was only 4 volumes. I have the rest of Bongo Stray Dogs. I was like, I gotta go ahead and just pick it up. Next up I picked up is A Certain Magical Index. This is volume 28. Now, I actually have not started reading this series, but I just have an inkling that this is one of those series that I don't know if Yen Press will reprint after more than once. So some of the other volumes are not even available for right now. They're hard to find. So with that, I know, I mean, it's daunting. I have all of certain magical index. I have a certain scientific railgun. Because I have a feeling that these are going to be harder to find. I know it's a bit of a niche, and I've had this grandiose idea where I want to do this giant review, just an umbrella of all of them, but then review videos started tanking, and I was like, do I still want to do reviews? I love doing reviews. I'll probably do some more in the future, even though I know the expectation has changed for that. And part of it is I'm also trying to think of how can I do a review that's going to give you value? Because the ones I have right now, some of them have done very well, and then I did the same format again, and then they just did very poorly. So I'm here for you guys. So I want to make sure that I'm creating videos that are things that you want to go ahead and view, not just only what I'm interested in. So with that, I'm trying to figure out how I can create a better balance where, like, my Witch Hat Atelier did really well, but then my manga year for last year, Blue Giant, which is extremely well, that video, you know, I think 250 people, which is great. 250 people found some value or enough to at least click on it to hear what I had to say. So I don't know how to change the formula. I'm trying to figure out to create a way where it can be more of value for you. I want to be able to get I'm trying to say is I want to be able to cast a bigger net. And once I figure out how to cast a bigger net, I feel that would allow me to just really ramp up reviews. I just need to find that way that fits for you guys as my viewers on holding enough value. You're like, yep, that's worth a like, that's worth a click to view, that's worth a subscribe. Up next is another series which I've just enjoyed very, very much. And this was one of those big reveal volumes where you just learned so much of the mystery, and yet it just made you want to even ask more questions. That is Kowloon. This is Generic Romance Volume 7. Now, these come in shrink wrap. I don't think that needs shrink wrap. I mean, there's some risque-ish things, but I've seen that in volumes that are rated teen do the same thing. So I don't know why. I don't think this deserves to be shrink wrap, but it is. Maybe there's a volume later on that all of a sudden they're going to be showing things, and that's why. But this has been a very interesting, it's a slow burn series. I think it's from the same author that did After the Rain. But if you are looking for a slow burn romance and more of an adult setting series, meaning just following people as an adults, not kids, this has been a really interesting series. I'm very interested in the mystery, and we had some big reveals and some aha moments with this volume, which of course just made me want to ask more questions and immediately pick up and pre-order volume 8. So very good, highly recommend checking out if you've not already. And next is one of my favorite current ongoing manhwas, and that is the Remarried Empress Volume 7. Now, this is kind of like the second act, as 1 through 6 had this different, just the first arc. This is now the second one. If you're interested in drama, costume design, just very interesting characters. I don't know why we do not have a live action for this. This is a series you've got to check out. The first volume alone should get you hooked, let alone after the second volume, I think you'd be singing its praises, as well as you're following this gal whose husband decided to take a mistress, and then the king with this mistress, the empress, is just not putting up with it anymore. And it's neat to see her independence. She worked so very hard to be the empress her entire life, striving for this. And to have some mistress girl off to the side automatically come in and swoop in and try to take her job, who has not spent years in backpacking, has not spent giving up her dreams, her hopes, just so that the empress can take care of the kingdom, be there for others. She has done such a good job of sacrificing, and what does she get? Her husband going off with some other person? I don't think so. This is incredible from Eyes Press line. You've got to check it out if you've not already. Speaking of the Eyes Press line, another series, if you're looking for kind of an X-Men but with insects, you've got to check out Jungle Juice. Jungle Juice, I gotta say, I love the artwork in it. Just the colors, how they pop, it's just phenomenal. Speaking of the Eyes Press line, all of them are in color, which is great. So if you're looking for manhwa, if you want a color, these are so incredible. I've enjoyed the fighting and the battles of this as you're following the main character who used this spray called Jungle Juice, and now he's part human, part insect, and you're trying to find out this organization on how this came to be and be able to stop the process and the ability to get a cure. So it feels like they're at this like X-Men type of school. They're going out, there's this overall story as they're trying to go ahead and discover just the mystery behind things, but it has just been a lot of fun, and you learn some gross facts about bugs, and bugs I didn't know existed that actually do exist, and I wish that did not. But so if you're looking for, if that intrigues you at all, I would recommend Jungle Juice. Next up is a series, I'm gonna call it a guilty pleasure because it's hard for me to necessarily recommend. I don't know why. It's one of those things that I know is bad, but it's so bad it's good that I just want to keep reading it over and over. I'm excited when a volume comes out. I want to consume it even though I know the main character has ego up to the wazoo. Whatever he does, it just always seems to go well for him, and I don't know why, but I just love the series, and that is Tomb Raider King, and this is volume 7. So this is very interesting as you're following this main character, kind of it's like soul leveling, where he's about to die in the very beginning, and somehow he's able to travel back in time with all the knowledge that he has, and now he's going and changing the events of these different tombs that have come up in the world, and he get these artifacts that have different stats on them, and there's other people secretly that are trying to get these artifacts as well, as they give you different powers, and whoever has the most of these artifacts and can wield different ones of different strength, they're going to be the ones that are ruling the new world. So very good story so far. I know it's finished, so I'm not reading online, but Eyes Press has done such a good job, and the artwork on this one is also fun. Really, really good, intense. I love all the different colors on this one too. Man, it's been so good. Again, it's a guilty pleasure. I feel wrong sometimes recommending this series, but for me, I don't know why. I just put my brain at the door, I relax, and I'm just in for a good ride. And last from the Eyes Press-ish with Yen Press, it is the Omniscient Reader Volume 3. I cannot get enough of this series. As soon as I finished this, I immediately wanted to go online and read the 4th volume. We're not doing that. We're gonna wait for the physical copy because I absolutely love the physical, but I am just at the edge of my seat. This came out last year. This is probably would now be my #1 pick for last year of series that came out since I finally got to read it. This is just so incredible, so good. It reminds you again of soul leveling a little bit, but you have this main character here who he ends up reading this entire novel with 1,000 chapters, and towards the end of this online novel, he's the only one that's reading it. And after completing it, everything that he read in the book is now happening in real life, but he has a foreknowledge of what happens in the story, and things are just changing left and right. Even in the very beginning, there's a main character in that novel that all of a sudden is not going to be in the novel later on. It has just been, you're just like, wow, what is going on? There's some craziness, extreme violence. You're like, oh my. So definitely not for kids, but I have just been thoroughly enjoying Shocked. This is one of the best manga I have read in years. It's one I highly recommend. I'm so grateful for the Eyes Press line. Go ahead and giving this to us. Now moving on to ongoing or missing titles that I received from KODANSHA, which I'm shocked I only got one, and that is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. This is volume 24. I ended up getting this also on from Manga because the other site where I was ordering a bunch of manga was Crunchyroll, which I'm now switching for a whole bunch of other reasons, which you'll see in a future video soon. But Crunchyroll never even got this on. For some reason, it's still not available to go ahead and order from them. So I got this from Mary. I was very excited for this. I haven't watched the new season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. I heard it hasn't been as good. I knew I was further along because of the manga, so I just didn't think to go ahead and watch it. But because of the anime, I loved it so much the first 2 seasons, I had to go ahead and pick up the series. If you're curious, what should I start reading the manga? If you've seen the first 2 seasons of the anime, they do follow fairly close. I think volume 19 is it, that'll go ahead and continue the story, or maybe 20. But it's just still been very good. The political intrigue, seeing our main character continue to grow as a person, and it's just fun. I did a review for this one, actually did decent. Thank you so much. I think we have over 500 reviews, so thank you. It's just fun. If you're looking for a series that just screams fun, laugh out loud, a good time, it's gonna be That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Let's go ahead and now move on to what I received from 7 Seas, which is just 1 volume, and that is Kimono Jin Volume 11, which we also got from Manga. Thank you so much. Man, this is a series I actually almost close to drop. I just wasn't that interested, and for some reason, after volume 5, it just took off. At first, it just seemed like an episodic where here we go again, but then it just incredible. There's some really good, interesting character development, really good, some bad villains where you're like, oh my. It is, I haven't thought like felt some of these tingling and with some of these villains since Naruto. Naruto had some really good villains, and they've done a really good job just showing small aspects of this in this series. As you're following this main huge story right now, they're trying to get these different pieces to create like this powerful orb sort of thing, and seeing this where each of these have these people that can turn into beasts, and these different beasts, whether that's a fox or someone who doesn't get undead, someone that has frozen powers like an ice spirit, all these different little things happening with these different characters, just seeing them trying to, who's going to control the humans. Very interesting. Again, it took me a couple of volumes, so I don't know if that's worth it. You go 5+ volumes till it hooks you, but that's what it took for me, and I'm just along for the ride ever since. Let's go ahead and now move on to new to me from Viz Media, which is only one, and I almost don't want to say it. I had my son say it for me. Gakuruki. I'm not saying it correctly. I apologize. This was an interesting first volume. It was not bad, but it wasn't great. I think it just needs some room to breathe. But you're following this agency here where they're going ahead and they're hunting these different monsters that come out, and these monsters are just taking the humans away. So they have some unique powers and abilities. This main character is a half of this certain kind of monster, half human, and I will say, even though the story is okay so far, the artwork is incredible. The action scenes and battle scenes were on point. And this is only the first volume. Typically, when these type of series, it just only goes up from here. So if the battle is going well now with the artwork, I'm so excited to see as the author continues to improve and gets in their groove on what's going to be for the future for this series. So it's very pretty to look at. I just don't know whether or not the stories can continue to grow and get better. I went and pre-ordered the second volume from Manga, so when I get the series, with that volume, I'm hoping it continues to improve, because again, it wasn't, I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, not great, but it intrigued me enough to go ahead and order the second volume. Now moving on to new to me from Yen Press, and I gotta say hats off and thank you so much from Yen Press for going ahead and kind of sponsoring by providing these 2 volumes for us to share with each of you. So, which I'm very glad they did. I never heard of either one, and I thoroughly enjoyed each one, where I would love to continue the series and get the second volumes for both. This first one is Apocalypse Bringer. This series here is it's an isekai where you're following this main character that has, now isekai is in a different world as he wakes up, and when he wakes in a different world, he's in this RTS strategy game. And when he played this game when he was sick, he ended up being one of the best, and now he's in that world. It reminded me a lot of Overlord. If you like Overlord, I think you're gonna like this first volume. And as you have this main character, as he also is, you know, he's evil. Look at that. This is what he looks like. This is what he sees himself as, but instead he sees himself as evil. And as we have, I want to say Albina, or no, my God, I want to say Morgana. I forget one of the main characters. That's like this girl here from Overlord. She is very, very evil and crazy. Looks nice, but then turns into this monster. It was very good. I was shocked. I never even heard of this series, and I'm so glad that Yen Press went and go ahead and shipped this to me to be able to share with each of you guys. It was really good. I love this first volume. Next from Yen Press, I got A Sinner in the Deep Sea. This was also a very good volume 1. It's the artwork is very, very pretty, how they went and they took care of it. It reminded me a little bit of A Bride Story, even though I know it's not the same author, but it reminded me of that same type of artwork here. But this is, you're following, it's not Ariel here, but a mermaid. You're following her as she's following her friend, and her friend went and did the taboo, which was to talk to a human. Sounds a little bit like The Little Mermaid, doesn't it? But it's not. There are only 3 volumes total in this series, so I don't know if that was what they wanted for the series as a whole, but it was a very interesting first volume, as I just enjoyed seeing this girl being kind of a rule breaker. She wants nothing to do with humans, but her friend, this popular person, does get involved with human, and now they're trying to break out, all these other things are happening. So if you're looking for just good artwork as well as some good storytelling, this was a great first volume. I'm intrigued, especially if there's only 3 volumes total. I'm intrigued to go along for the ride and go ahead and get the second volume as well. Now let's go ahead. This is my last thing I picked up. This is new to me from KODANSHA. I picked up the entire series that is going to be having an omnibus soon, but that is Your Lie in April. Now this series just has been on my radar for a really long time, and I wanted to get these smaller volumes instead. The 2-in-1, yes, I had the bigger trim, but I didn't feel for a story about music necessarily needed the larger trim. And with the shelf space, you know, these actually fit a lot better on my shelves. So, and I like to see the individual covers. So with that, I went and got the series. I know it's only 11 volumes. Manga indeed had everything in stock, where Crunchyroll didn't have everything in stock. So I went and picked up the series on a whim. You're like, Scott, why are you picking up new series? You said you were going to slow down. Yes, I did say I was going to slow down, but then I saw this on my radar, and I've wanted it for a really long time. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump and pick it up. So Your Lie in April for a music series. I thoroughly enjoyed Blue Giant. I wanted to check out another music series to see if I'd, you know, get my heart fluttering a little bit and just really enjoy and seek in. So with that, I went and I picked the series. I've heard nothing but good things. It has gotten extremely good reviews on my anime list, and it's done well enough that KODANSHA decided to go ahead and now provide the 3-in-1. So if you're looking for a 3-in-1 with a larger print, you may want to go that route, as a volume 1's going to be coming out soon. So with that said, that is all I picked up for this last month. In the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What did you either pick up or read this past month? And again, if you seen any value from this channel, I would love you to be part of that 27% and increase that number. What if we could even get to 35%? That would be great. Of the people who watch this are subscribers. So I would ask, I know it's a bit of an inconvenience, but if you have found any value from this channel, would you go ahead and like, comment, and maybe even subscribe to the channel? Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day.